Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're looking forward to today's episode, as today is a big one. We're properly kicking off Season 5 by playing against Sunderland, a newly promoted Sunderland team in the Championship, but there are plenty of things to go through in this episode. We've got to talk about new signings, we've got to talk about youth players, we've got to talk about new formations as well. There's lots to go through, so we'll get through that first before we take on Sunderland. But first things first, make sure you drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. So, transfers, I did want to try and bring a few more players into the team, but it has proved very difficult, particularly getting a striker in, just any striker who's one, good enough, or two, is good enough but wants to not come to us on loan is difficult. A few players we've tried to get in on loan have just kept saying no to us, basically, which is obviously not ideal, so the striking situation has not really been helped out much, but we have spent just over £500,000 on a chap called Paul from Man City. Now, he is not a striker, he's actually a centre-back / right-back, but I am very pleased that we've brought this guy in. 19 years old, just over £500,000 for a guy who can play centre-back and right-back with 16 tackling, 20 bravery, 16 determination, pretty decent physicals for a 19-year-old, and of course will only get better. 6 foot, heading maybe not quite so good, jumping reach only 13, so maybe not the aerially dominant, I struggle to say that, centre back that we like to have, but still is a very good player for us, and most importantly, Premier League potential, and that's exactly what we want. So another player to come in to strengthen that back line. There are potentially 2 more players joining the team. Alan Lloyd-Jones is about to leave the club to go to Torquay, but 2 players that we have got bids on the table for. We've got basically a combined fee of, call it £500,000 or so. Fabian Manjaras, which I think I'm saying all wrong. He is a young fullback who has got Premier League potential, currently League 2 level, so maybe not the player that we need right now, but I'm thinking these guys just came up randomly on scout reports, and again, we don't know too much about them because we've not done proper scouting into them. For whatever reason, our scouts have got some info on some Colombian player. We don't scout Colombia. I don't know why he's come up. We only have a European scouting budget, so not quite sure why he's come up. But I saw the Premier League potential. I saw the cheap fee. I thought, right, let's try and get him in. So hopefully we'll see him join at some point today. The same with Hikaru, a Brazilian region who is a centre-back. Again, a little bit small, but potentially could be retrained to be a midfielder if he has some good, like, ball-winning attributes, for example. Who could be a decent player. League 2 standard, it says Championship potential, but I'd like to think maybe we could get a Premier League potential out of him if we train him well. And for very cheap fees, I think they'd be quite good players to bring into the club. So that's the transfer news sort of done. Did anyone else leave the club? I don't think so. Only players out on loan. No one's left the club on a permanent basis other than the players that we already know about. So let's talk about the new formation first. Now, if you're in the Discord, which I highly recommend you get in, there's a link in the description to join my Discord. We're talking a little bit about tactics in there, and Thad, who is a very prolific tactic maker, he's done a few of them in the past and they've been quite good. He let me know about 2 formations that he thinks could work pretty well with this team. Both of them 4-4-2. One is more of a Route 1 formation. The other one's more of a tiki-taka style of play. But I think we're going to try and go for Route 1 on the grounds that, 1, we're not a very good team, if I'm honest with you, and Route 1 might be the best way to get results in this, particularly with our new signing Escobar, the 6'1", 16 heading, 14 jumping, or 13 jumping reach centre forward, Carlos Escobar. I think this could be a way to unlock him, I think. It could be a way to unlock him, and it also gets the best out of our 2 new left-sided players, Bairo and Kazawa, because they can both play in the same team at the same time. But essentially, it should be a pretty decent formation to just get the ball forward onto the head of Escobar to knock it down for George Alexander. That's my thinking, at least, with most of this. Although Alexander's only got a reasonable left foot. What's Escobar got? He's got a strong left foot, so actually it would probably make sense to swap those 2 over. We have got low crosses turned on. I think I might switch that to mixed crosses, just because we have the height advantage of Escobar in there. And I am nervous about play-outs of defence, because I know our defenders are not the greatest passers in the world. Thomas Parry has got 10 passing, and we've also got Holm with 11 passing. Composure 12, it's okay. Thomas Parry's composure 11, it's okay. I think maybe pass out from the back is a little risky, but it's worth trying out for a few games this season, I think. And to be fair, we did use it in 2 recent friendlies against Bangor City and Newport County, and actually Cheltenham, 3-1, 9-2, 7-1. I mean, great results for us. I mean, it's suggesting that it might work relatively well. But that's the team. That's the team that we're kind of thinking of maybe leaning towards this season. A little bit of a change, and a change might do wonders for us this season. But you've seen new signings, you've seen these changes. I now want to talk a little bit about the players coming through our system, rename a few of them from the Patreon, but actually talk how they're going to fit into the team a little bit. So we'll start off with the under-23s, and there are some very good players in the under-23s, most of them going out on loan. If we sort it by current ability, the best one is Tyson Allen, who's had a superb time recently. He's up to a League One standard player at the age of 17. I think he could be a leader for us in the future. He's gone to Wycombe on loan in League One this season, who are predicted to do pretty well, so hopefully he'll have a good loan spell with them. But one plus of playing this new formation with wingers, essentially, is that it's going to be easier to get players like Tyson Allen into this team when they eventually make the first team and become a good winger for us. And I think not this season, but definitely next season, Tyson Allen is going to be in our first team plans. There's also players like Jack Mullock as well, who's done very well in the centre of midfield. It's probably time for him to move at some point. He's currently playing for Hull in League One this season. So again, a good season of Hull could mean he's a championship player for us next season. And one player I am quite keen to bring through is Jeffries here. I can't say his first name, but luckily he is going to get renamed via the Patreon. Now, he's also a left winger, so him and Tyson Allen could be in a little bit of competition, but having 2 very good left wingers is not a bad idea at all. Anyway, I was about to say this guy's difficult name is going to be much easier to say. It's not, because set the nickname that has been chosen by Sai, if I can set the nickname, is a difficult one. Ewan, easy. Fibral Harb. Ewan is what it's going to be called as. Ewan, I'll try and work on the surname, but Ewan, welcome to the team. And then the real excitement comes in the under-18s. We have a lot of players with potential who will stay in the under-18s for a while. When they turn 17, that's when they can go out on loan to other clubs. And that's maybe when we have to think about letting them go on loan to get first-team football and develop. But right now, they're going to do a good job in our under-18s. So let's rename a few of them. Ben Goodwin is a striker, more than anything else actually, with decent finishing, a decent bit of pace, and could be a good player in the future. I'll be honest, this one is one of my favourite names. Ben Goodwin is now going to be known as, if I can paste the name in, Caesar Firebrand. What a name that is. Jay, thank you very much. Harry Collery is a goalkeeper for us who has got a lot of potential. I'm a big fan of Harry, and I think he could go a long way. But Harry is no longer going to be known as Harry. James, thank you very much for Cat Fotheringham. Shane Daly is a centre midfielder for us who actually is going to be very, very good. I'm a big fan of how he's shaping up for the future, particularly with things like 14 passing, 12 first touch, 14 decisions at 16 years old. He will be very good, I think. But Shane, what have I done? What have I done? What have I just board requested? I meant to click... Oh, send on a leadership course. Okay, that's fine. I thought I'd done something terrible. Set nickname instead. I really panicked then. Shane is now going to be known as Mike Ward. Mike, thank you very much. Ocean Barber as well is another winger on the right-hand side / striker. I think I'm leaning towards the winger role a little bit more, if I'm honest with you. But Ocean Barber, a good-looking young player. Let's not give a new contract just yet. If I can click on the right thing, Ocean Barber, set nickname. I'm clicking all the wrong things today. This one is a good name. Juan All. Juan All. We know when it's 1-1 who to bring on the pitch to save the day. And finally, we spoke about him earlier on, Jack Mullock on loan at Hull City. He has been claimed. He was a region of ours, but hadn't been claimed for a while, but has now been claimed. And Jack Mullock will be now known, if I can... why is pasting not working? Timo Wolf. There we go. Jack Mullock renamed to Timo Wolf. So there we go. New signings, new formations, new players renamed. I think it's time to get into this game. So the team is actually, I've got to say, a little bit different to last season. Looking at this, only 4 players have kept their places from last season. That is, of course, Chris Johns and the 2 centre-backs, Holm and Torres Parry, with Alexander up front. So they're the 4 that have maintained their places All the other positions are completely new. So Kazawa, we know all about him, the former PSG player coming in to play at left back for us this season. Should be a good fit for the team. Paul, of course, on the other side is maybe more of a centre back, but playing as a fullback today, I think will do quite well on the right-hand side. Obviously, him and Bryce Hosanna will rotate around a little bit, but I think he'll be a decent player. The midfield four is completely different. The new best player in the team, I think, according to the attributes, is Guillaume Bayro, who looks very, very good playing as a left winger here today. Got some good crossing, dribbling, passing, technique. I mean, everything. It looks really solid. I'm a big fan of how he could be playing, and I'd like to sign him on a permanent deal at some point soon. And then, of course, we have Webster from Wolves. He's playing as the box-to-boxer today. He should be a very good player. And then we've got two players from Liverpool. McParland, who can play on the right-hand side. Potentially, we might need a proper right midfielder at some point. But again, decent crossing and dribbling and stuff like that. Everything you want to see in a winger. With McGlynn sitting a little deeper as the playmaker in the centre of midfield. Then up front, we have Escobar and Alexander. And of course, we looked at those two guys earlier on, so you know all about them. This is going to be a good game, a good test for our new formation. This random thing in the middle of the screen still, I don't know why. We'll have to deal with it at some point. It's actually not disappearing, though, which is very bizarre. I mean, we might have to just sit with this for a long time. Will it? Why is it not going away? Right, well, Wrexham v Bangor City is just in the middle of the screen. How do I get rid of this? If I go to Preferences and I just reload the skin, does that work? Yeah, that seemed to work. Okay, well, that's off the screen now, which is good. In the meantime, there is a highlight 2 minutes into this game, and if we concede inside of 2 minutes to a newly promoted Sunderland team, that would be very upsetting. Luckily, they put it over the bar. So, expectations for this season. Well, for me, it's just do better than last season. Just do better than last season. We had, 44 points last season, 20th in the table. If we can get 45 points and come 19th in the table, that for me is some sort of progress. But obviously, we want a little bit more. I think we need to be aiming for at least 50 points this season. We need to be aiming for an upper, lower mid-table position. So like 13th, 14th, 15th, I think. Obviously, that was well offside. I think we all knew that from the moment we saw the goal go in the back of the net. So I was never concerned about that one. But Sunderland are having the better of the chances right now. Mark Sykes with a pretty good goal there, I must say. Pretty good goal. See, this formation was working quite well in pre-season. You can see right now that we are behind in most metrics. But here we go. Right, corner. In the back of the net somehow. I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. Let's see the replay on it. Thomas Parry is credited with the goal, I believe. But as you can see, the ball comes into the middle. He heads it against the Sunderland defender, and it just sort of trickles over the line in the end. But at least we are back on level terms. Thomas Parry gets the first goal of this season for us. And it's from a corner and a headed effort, which I think is pretty decent going. Can we do it again? McParland, Holm this time. Escobar at the far post gets the goal. Carlos Escobar scoring on his debut. Not quite the goal we thought the target man would be scoring. He scores a footed goal from point blank range. But at least right before half-time, seconds before half-time, we are in the lead of this game. And again, it's come from a corner. It's actually headed at the near post and then scored at the far post. I mean, it's not quite meant to be that way. We're meant to deliver the balls to the far post to score from the far post. But they've gone in either way. I'm happy with it. So a very good start to this game, I must say, or the first half at least. 2-1 up against newly promoted Sunderland. It puts us fourth in the table under current circumstances, which is a good position to be in. Now, I bigged him up massively earlier on. Bayro on a 6.2 right now. Poor from him. McParland can play there. Bayro can come off, but we don't have a right midfielder on the bench. Can anyone play there at all? Bryce Hosanna can do. All right, Bryce Hosanna, on you come to play right midfield, please. And George Alexander having a poor game. On comes Paul Mullin for him, I reckon. Now, obviously, we also have a lot of talent at centre-back. And if we stick with this 4-4-2... that's going to make it harder to get some of our centre-back targets and talent into the team. Oliver Street needs to play. Thomas Parry needs to play. Holm needs to play because he's our best centre-back, really. We need Pole playing as well. He can play right-back, but I think centre-back is a little better suited to him. So trying to fit all these players into the team will be difficult as Kazawa clears the throw-in, but only as far as the taker. Can we win the ball high up the pitch? The answer to that is no. Sunderland get the ball into the area, into Giles, into Humphreys. Good challenge at the back there, but only a free kick for us. Okay, you love to see it. That highlight was a little bit risky. We are holding on to this win right now, and can we get another goal from a corner? Thomas Parry, Escobar, puts it wide of the mark. Under pressure there, maybe. Was a little bit harder than it looked for us right there. Lots of yellow cards on the opening day of the season for us right now. 5. Only 5. No, I think it's 6 you need to be fined. Luckily, we won't get a fine, but we do get a fine victory to open up the season. Sunderland 1, Wrexham 2. And I tell you what, we could be onto something with this formation, maybe. We could be onto something potentially. Up to 7th in the table on the first day of the season. I think that's the highest position we've held in the Championship in our entire time of being in it, which is obviously going to just only go down because we're not going to be up there this season. But it's progress. We love a bit of progress. McParland impresses on his debut, of course, getting an assist at least one time, I think. No, he didn't actually. He got the assist of the assists from the corner, didn't he? But either way, it looks pretty decent. A new formation for us. Paid off. Great, it did, didn't it? You love to see it. Obviously, McParland did actually get 1 assist there, which is good to see. The Championship kicks off, and we need to say thank you as well to our brand new signing from El Salvador, Carlos Escobar, getting the goal to win the game. Another one of the players with Premier League potential. We've got a few of these now. Carlos Escobar 1. Pol is another one. Jim McBangle, it doesn't say, it says Championship there. I think it's more. Adam Thomas Parry. It says significantly improve. I think that means Premier League potential. With at least, I'd say Jim McBangle would have Premier League potential, maybe. Oliver Street has got, it says Championship, but I think Premier League. I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with Premier League potential in our first team. Obviously, maybe Tyson Allen might have it. He could have some Premier League potential. If you also look in the under-23 team as well, I also think potentially any of these guys with 5 stars potential might be up there, you know. I think the future's bright. We're going to start paying dividends, or dividends are going to get paid to us soon for all these players that we're bringing in. It might take, a little while to actually get to winning ways on a regular basis, but we're going to do it our way. We're going to do it the Wrexham way. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, have a lovely day, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.